Yeah. All
What a
right.
cool video.
Welcome to Heady Set Go. And we are back today. Our special guest today is my dear friend, Annabelle Tracy. And we've known each other for about 4 years, I think. And anyway, she's
Yeah.
yeah, really talented artist and plays a little bit of music, but we're going to mostly just be talking about art today. And yeah, so what's up, Annabelle? How you doing?
Good. I'm good.
Nice.
I could
Would
talk
you?
about music. I just don't play it anymore, really.
Yeah. Well, what's your dog's name?
This
First
is
off,
Norbert. Yeah,
Norbert.
this is Bert. Norbert. Yeah,
Nice.
he's my love. He's cool. He's a good boy. He grew up in a 300 square foot apartment, so he's just kind of chill to go anywhere.
Nice. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So first things first, since this is a music podcast, um, I kind of like to see, you know, the progression of which our guest musical influences and taste has evolved. So you grew up in the Colorado Boulder area, right?
Yeah, well, I moved around a lot. I went to high school in Boulder though, and the everywhere else I've lived didn't really have like I wasn't really plugged into the music scene, but Boulder has a really good music scene, or at least it did when I was in
When
high
you
school.
were
That
when you were
kind
in high
of
school.
yeah, about a decade ago now, but yeah, it's still pretty good, I think. So yeah,
Right on. I mean, what I haven't really actually been to a lot of shows. I mean, there's like the what's the big one that's like right off of Pearl, kind of
Fox
Fox.
Theater
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
hill.
yeah,
There's the
yeah.
Boulder Theater too, but most like a lot of big people go to the Fox. The Fox has been there forever,
Nice.
which is cool. It's a fun one. Yeah. I grew up
So
yeah,
did,
I went to Fairview in
okay,
the high school down there and so we hung out on the hill.
nice, nice. So did you go to a lot of shows at the Fox or growing up?
Yes, that was the big one. I went to shows in Denver too, but most of the shows I wanted to go to were in like Five Points, which is now Rhino. So it wasn't
Right.
totally great to go down there. So mostly, yeah, it was like the Fox or like house shows. Um, I used to sound engineer. I sound engineered for years. So I used to do the festivals, like the festival circuits and stuff. So been to 100, been to a million of those.
Nice. So you moved to New York pretty when you were pretty young, right? You were like 18 or something or younger, right?
17. Yeah, I graduated high school when I was 16 going on. I turned 17 and I got a scholarship and I moved to Brooklyn. And I lived out there up until a couple of years ago. And it was kind of just like that I was trying so hard to be older than I was when I was in high school that I was just like I don't want to. I'm just gonna go off and be an adult. It was interesting, but Brooklyn has a good music scene.
Yeah, I'm sure. I
If you
mean,
didn't know
so
that,
like
yeah.
I mean, I would guess, but I've never hung out in Brooklyn. So, what was that like going from Boulder and then going to Brooklyn? And like, what were I'm sure there's some major differences between the music scene there and maybe like the kind of music that's being played.
Yeah, well, I was really into rock and roll. I still am, and that was like what I sought out and like the community that I kind of built around myself in Boulder. And so when I moved to Brooklyn, I sought that out as well. And I met this like wicked community of people who just like welcomed me in. And that was like specifically like a rock and roll kind of scene and like group of people. That's like how I found community when I was a teenager in Boulder, and it's like how I found my job when I was engineering, and how I got, how I paid for everything, and then it gave me family in New York too when I didn't know anyone. So it was kind of
Nice.
cool. There's like underground rock and roll scene that has not died from the 70s. Like it was alive in the 70s and it hasn't faded yet. So
That's cool. Still going strong out there in New York, and I'm sure, and there's so much good music that comes out of New York. A lot of good rock and roll, a lot of really good indie rock too. A lot of like um, what are they called? I think maybe the Kooks came out of there. Have you ever listened to them?
yeah, I think the Kooks are British.
Yeah, they
They're
might be
English.
British. What am I? The Strokes. The
Yeah.
Strokes came out of New York too,
Did
right?
they? That I'm
Yeah,
actually not sure.
I can look it up right
That would
now.
be a
But
good
I'm
Google. Yeah. Yeah, that I'm
let's
actually
see.
not sure. I was
Yep,
thinking like there's like the New York Dolls, there's Johnny Thunders, there's
right.
you know, old kind of
That was more
60s,
your
70s.
scene, though, that you were kind of
Yeah.
getting involved with, for sure.
Yeah. Some really fun people.
Nice, nice. So, and you went to art school when you moved to New York,
Did.
right? Nice,
I did. I went to Pratt.
nice.
Yep.
Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, give us a quick, maybe a quick origin story. I mean, were you drawing? I mean, I'm sure you were, focusing on art before you got into Pratt. Um, when did you start like
Yeah.
drawing, or well, you do mostly drawing,
I've
so yeah.
yeah, I've always known exactly what I want to do ever since I was a kid. Um, I always wanted to be an artist. Actually, I wanted to be an architect, but my
Hmm,
math skills aren't so great, and so everybody told me you can't be an architect if you're not like really good at math, which sucks because you can actually you don't have to be a mathematical genius to be an architect. So I went
okay.
to the visual just side of things, like I'm an illustrator. Um, so I've always been good at school. So I graduated. I did pre-college when I was 14 or 15. Um,
Hmm,
and then after that, I was like, fuck this, I don't want to be in high school anymore. So uh, I took the tests so I could test out of high school, and I got a huge scholarship to go to Pratt. So originally, I was gonna move back to England. I was thinking, um, and I got the scholarship, I got the offer, so I was like, I'll go to New York.
nice.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
the so how did that shape you as an artist? Going to Pratt was, I hear good
Oh,
things. I
Pratt's
mean, is it weird?
Pratt's weird. It's cool. There's some really good talent. That I mean, it's one of the best schools. Like really good. There's some really really talented people and some really cool people. And there's also a lot of, not that they aren't talented too, but it's a very like trust fund. A lot of the people like
Right.
a lot of people I knew from the East Coast had family in the area, and I kind of just set out with my guitar in a suitcase and didn't know anyone on the East Coast, and I didn't have any money, and I was just like it was and I was a lot younger than everybody, so it took me a minute to kind of find a community. To Took me a minute to like, well, to find friends, for being honest.
Sure, sure.
But once I did, it was really cool. um it was a kind of a culture shock. uh little bit of a culture shock, like into the fire.
Sure. Um, how did you adapt to that?
Um, I just I sent everything into just like what I know I like. So I was just music, I was playing guitar, I was just drawing all the time and just talking to everybody I could. Like I would walk around the school if there was somebody, obviously like not out in the city, I wouldn't just walk up to anyone. But if I was walking around the campus and there was someone that looked cool, I'd like walk up and introduce myself. And that's how I made friends. Like, it was just you kinda just have to be abnormally outgoing, um, which was
Yeah,
kinda
yeah,
different from yeah, it was different from how I'd been.
that's
Yeah.
cool. So, I mean, kind of got you out of your comfort zone a little bit, and you know, seems like,
Mhm.
I mean, but that's a very organic approach, I feel like, to meeting new people, and that's,
Yeah.
typically how it's done. You just meet people, there's something about them that you feel like you could vibe with or something, and then, start a conversation, and hopefully something good comes out of it.
Yeah. New York is very well, the city is very adapt or die. Um,
Sure.
and I was like, I'm not gonna let it kill me, so just gotta adapt. So,
There you go.
I've moved around my whole life, so I'm good at starting over. That helps. That helped.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Right on. So,
Yeah.
were you mostly just studying drawing at Pratt, or was there kind of other mediums that you were exploring, or was drawing was just your main focus, or
So I studied my degree so I studied communication design. So I studied like visual marketing,
okay,
and like production. So I like what I'm good at drawing, and I'm good at like creating like scenes like that. Some people are really good at like doing things just strictly digital, or painting, and there's a lot of different veins you can kind of go into, but I kind of just you have to find what you're best at and then like exploit that. That's how you become a good artist. And then I've always my mom psychologist, always been really into that. So then I minored in psychology while I was there as well, which kind of goes hand in hand with communication.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So that was so what were you planning to do with the degree initially?
Oh yeah. Well, I was when I was working on my thesis in undergrad, I was like, I'm just gonna graduate and I want to work freelance because I want to make my own hours. And that's what I do now, but it's super lonely and I get if you live, you live alone, get up, do your work, and you're like sometimes you talk to anyone in like 10 hours, like in person. And so I now I'm looking to get into more of like a like corporate professional kind of field like that. Um
Hmm,
yeah, so that was that was the plan and I did it. Very good at sticking to those plans, but you know, life
nice.
changes.
Yeah, yeah. You were
Yeah.
doing a lot of commission work when I first met you, right?
Yeah, yeah. And
So how
that's
does
kind of what I
yeah,
do. Yeah.
go ahead.
Wait, go ahead. I was just saying,
No,
yeah, that's what I do.
that's kind of what you do. I mean, so like, but how does that work? I mean, do you kind of like where you submit your work? I mean, are there like websites or something for artists to go and be like, here's my work, like a portfolio or something, and then someone finds you who likes your stuff, and then they commission you through that, or
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. So I kinda just if I find out about another one, I put my work up on there, so it's just blanketed across everything. Like, it's really important if you are just even if you're not working freelance, even if you're just it's really important to have a website, like a portfolio website. So I have
right?
my own website, that started it when I was 15, I think, or 16. So
Nice.
that's it's been around for a while. So that there's that. But the only thing that I've ever actually had anybody, like, directly reach out, um, about is, like, Instagram, which is
Really?
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool though. I
I
mean,
remember, yeah.
what?
Instagram. Oh, I
Instagram.
remember when I made my first Instagram when I, like, made an Instagram, and, like, I was like, "What is this?" Like, "This is just Facebook." They're like, "No, no, it's Facebook, but it's images." I was like, "But it's just Facebook." Which now it's owned by Facebook, but,
Yeah, yeah, it's
yeah.
kind of it's kind of funny how that happened. But I don't know. I've really grown to like Instagram in a lot of ways. I mean, it's so it is so similar to Facebook, but I feel like it's less text oriented. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Because
really yeah.
you make a Facebook post and it's like, here's your text or your copy or whatever, and then it's like an image or something, or it's just text, and
Yeah.
Instagram's
I think
just
the biggest
yeah.
difference is hashtags,
Oh
right?
yeah, hashtag.
Hashtags, because you don't use hashtags on Facebook, but Instagram, that's how people find your stuff. Is hashtags. So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny when that first started coming around because it was like, because everyone just started saying hashtag lit, hashtag let's get crazy or something, like in an actual
Mhm.
conversation, So,
I
um,
thought it was the weird. I'm still not used to it. I still think it's weird.
I
Yeah,
mean, but I haven't heard anyone say that for a minute now. It's kind of
that's probably
died
good.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
that's probably a good thing. Yeah.
let's take a look at one of your pieces here. Um, Give me 2 seconds. Pull it up.
Oh, oh yeah, French bull horse.
Oh, there we go. French bull horse, huh?
Yeah, for full horse.
Is that what it's called? Yeah. Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
see. It's got the little
yeah,
hoofs and everything.
yeah. French bull horse. I made that for my sister for Christmas.
Nice.
This letter, and yeah, she opened it, and everybody was horrified. So it got the reaction that I wanted.
But it's cool.
Yeah.
What do you call that where you kind of do shading with but like lines, it's like the how close the lines are kind of, you know,
Well, like cross hatching, I think.
cross
Is that
hatching.
what you're?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say. Cool.
yeah.
So yeah, there's a
It's a
lot of
very
cross
like
hatching.
ink.
Yeah.
It's an ink. It's a very ink method of shading and adding dimension is cross hatching. So you can probably tell I'm like an ink artist looking at
Definitely.
it.
What inspired French Bull Horse? I think I know. Well, your sister rides horses, right?
She does. She's a hunter jumper, competition rider. So she jumps these like 17 hand tall, 18 hands tall horses over these like big 4 foot jumps. Scares the shit out of me. Um, and then she also is a Frenchie. There's a lot of Frenchies in my family. Everybody has a Frenchie. And then I was looking at one of the horses the other day because my mom has a bunch of them, and uh, their necks, the width of their neck is very like stocky on the bottom, and it lines up with like a French bulldog. I was like, oh my god, that's it lines up, and it did lines up perfectly.
That was the
Yeah,
moment you knew
Frenchies
you
are
had to create French bull
yeah, definitely.
horse. French
It's a
bull
French bull
horse?
horse. Yeah, French bull horse.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
And it's did you start out doing ink work? Was that kind of your first median, or did
Yeah.
you kind of evolve to do that later on, or
I have always done ink. Always. Ever since I've always been obsessed with pens. I collect fountain pens, um, which is really random, expensive, stupid. I mean, it's a really random hobby that you can end up spending a lot of money on if you really want to. Um, but yeah, yeah, ink.
nice?
It's the best. Yeah. Then if you just throw everything into one thing, you'll get good at that. Just if you keep doing it over and over and over and over again. Yeah.
Right. Totally. Totally. Yeah, I draw a little bit too, and that's kind
Yeah,
of
you
what
do. It's
happened with.
awesome.
Thank you. But charcoal became a lot of what I was doing later on, and I was like
Oh
awful,
yeah.
just completely awful because it just didn't make sense to me. It's so much different from drawing from a pencil. I mean, they do have those like charcoal pencils, but
Mhm.
it doesn't feel the same as like using, the little bar sticks,
Mhm.
I don't know if there's a correct
Yeah.
name for that, but they're like charcoal
Yeah, no,
blocks.
that's close. Yeah. I like
Yeah,
bar sticks. That's good.
bar stick, yeah.
Bar stick. Yeah. No, charcoal. Yeah, charcoal's good. It's just you gotta I always end up wearing it, like,
Yeah, it's
all over my
messy.
face afterwards. Yeah.
That's
I'm not
the
clean
thing about
enough
it.
to work with it.
Yeah, it can be a little
Yeah. Or
messy.
you work really hard and then you touch it, like, touch somewhere on the paper that you're not supposed to,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. I've done so many pieces, and there's like little fingerprints on the side, and then you try to erase them, and it's like kind of works, and it's just like, oh, it's just part of
Yeah.
the canvas now, But I'm sure there's a way cleaner way to do it. I've seen some people, with like taping off sections or using other
Yeah. Using,
paper
like, a
underneath
shield.
your,
Mhm.
yeah, some sort of shield.
Mhm.
Um, anyways, let's see. So, so let's get back to talking about music. What was your
Oh, yeah.
first? Well, first off, if anyone wants to see more of your work, and then we'll show some more work of
Yeah.
yours here. What's your website?
It's AnnabelleTracy.com. So,
Okay,
it's pretty
nice. Pretty
self-explanatory.
easy.
Yeah, so
Pretty
but
easy.
it's pretty easy. And then I have an Instagram. My Instagram's, Ink X Bell. It's INKXBELLE. So, yeah, Instagram
Nice.
and, website. Yeah, those are the
All
2
right.
that I'm yeah.
Cool. That's the two channels that you're most, active on.
Mhm.
So what was the
Music, though.
yeah, what was the first CD or album that you ever bought?
Oh, okay, well, I guess the first the first one I think I freaked out over. I don't remember the first one that my mom has this epic Rolling Stones collection on vinyl.
Hmm.
And when she like trusted me enough to like to touch the sacred records, I just was obsessed. And I had like a whole setup. I had like a really good turntable, and I had did the speakers. I went and got a subwoofer, and I had the little engineering board. I was such a nerd. Had a whole setup, and then I was
Nice.
going through her collection, and she had this super old Kinks, the Kinks like bootleg,
Huh.
where there were like 2 or 3 songs on it, and you can't find the songs on, like, they're not on Spotify or like anything like that. They're the only place I've ever heard them are like on this little bootleg, and I was like, "This is the coolest thing ever." So I went real hard into the like audio engineering like nerd of like going and collecting records, which suck to
Nice.
move with. Moving with records is a bitch. They're really heavy.
Yeah, and not only that, you have to think about things like temperature and,
Oh
you know,
God, don't drop it, even though it weighs
don't
60
drop it. Yeah.
pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely melted some couple vinyl.
Melted record. No, it's so sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought
No.
I think I was in like Nevada or something, and I bought these records. They were just like really cheap records, that I found at some random thrift store in the middle of the desert. And then I totally didn't even like think about covering them up or like, I just kind of like threw it in the back seat. And then the next
Yeah,
day they weren't like completely melted, but they were just warped.
yeah. Can't really do anything
So
about it then. sucks.
Yeah, it was lesson learned. I think they still kind of worked, but
Yeah, they'll probably still play, it'll sound like shit and ruin your record player.
yeah, yeah.
But do you
So
remember Record Store Day? That was a thing.
record store day, not really, no.
Was it okay, so this is like I got real hard into collecting records for a little while, and like 10 years ago, Jack White started his Third Man Records
Right.
in Nashville. He opened up the store down there, and
Mhm.
like he would put out all of these really cool like EPs and stuff. And my mom let me pick the family vacation that we went on that year when I was like 15 or 16 or something. And
Hmm.
I was like, I want to go to Nashville. And so we went, which was really kind of my sibling, February, so it was cold as shit. And we went to United Records Pressing down there, which is where they print
Nice.
just tons of everything. And just like fell in love with the whole thing. It's really cool. It's really cool.
Right on. Yeah, I've heard some really cool things about well, first of all, like Third Man Records, what I've heard is would be really cool to do one day is they at their studio there they do straight to acetane.
They
I'm
do.
pretty sure.
I did
Yeah,
one. It was shit. I was so nervous. But you go in the little booth and you come in. So cool. So cool. Yeah.
that is awesome. So explain to the listeners. So what does straight to acetane really mean?
That's a good question. I don't actually. It's basically just like a little. Well, it was like a little mini version of just like how they pressed records, basically, essentially. I think, right?
Right.
I could be
Yeah.
completely incorrect.
Well, and they do it like live. So right, isn't that the case
Mhm.
down there? Like you record and then it goes straight onto
Yeah,
vinyl.
cool. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
cool. Super dope. I mean, it's like you do like a quick little like you get one shot. Um you get one shot. It just does it really quick. It's just the well, records are just physical sound waves. So it just does that really
Right.
quickly. Um it's really cool. Also I was like nerding out because there were like the people who've been in that shop and who've done little recordings in there, like there's some really big names. And
Oh yeah.
who was it was yeah, this was before like Jack White, like he's always been big. 10 years ago he was big. He was Jack White.
Yeah. Yeah.
But his like independent stuff wasn't super 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 mainstream yet.
Right.
And his ex-wife Karen Elson was working in the shop that day, and the store was
Huh.
completely empty. And I just remember being like, "Oh my god, she's so pretty." Like I was so nervous to talk to her. It's fine, but she's super tall. Like I'm 5'9" and she's taller than me. And I was like, "Oh, she's so tall. She's so pretty." So I got nervous.
Nice. Yeah. But that's cool. That's a really cool experience that you got to do.
Yeah,
Especially that
she was super nice.
that's awesome. I feel like a lot of people our age kind of like we all started out with CDs,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and
God,
like CDs and Discman and
yes.
but that's cool that you kind of got more started in the vinyl area
Oh,
where a
don't get
lot
me
of,
wrong. I have up to CDs too.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that's cool though with the Kinks thing too that they do. I love when bands do that. They put on exclusive tracks that,
Mhm.
like you can either only find it on the record or find it on the CD, and
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
there's this band Annuals that I listen to, and they did that on their one of their albums. I forgot the name of the song, but you can't find it anywhere. It's only on the CD. No one's ever uploaded it to
This is so cool.
streaming services.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
People used to do these secret um they would release it on like record store day. They would do these secret uh uh secret songs, like secret releases, where they would put Jack White did a couple of these, where they do the pressing and, they'd they'd put it, like, on the interior. Like, so there's, the
Huh.
records, like, there's the like, the hole, and then,
Right.
like, there's the where the sticker goes, and then there's the record. They'd put it, like, near the interior so that it wouldn't play through normally. You'd have to, like, find it. It was really neat. It was really neat.
So you're saying like typically where the sticker would be, they put it like an
Yeah,
extra
so,
song
like
or something?
mhm, mhm, like an extra song, and, like, some people wouldn't find it, they'd have no idea it was there, and,
What?
yeah, it was cool. It was really cool.
So you
Mhm.
had to like take off the sticker or something to find it.
Yeah, sometimes they wouldn't like, the ones I'm thinking of, I don't think there was a sticker on it, or, like, the sticker started, like, closer to the hole, like, I say
Right.
hole, that doesn't like the technical term, but, yeah,
I know
you
what you
know,
mean. Yeah. Yeah. What else
yeah.
call it? Sure. Oh man,
Mhm.
that'd be cool. Or what if you did
It
like
was awesome.
you did the sticker, right? But then like a little closer to the hole, there was like a song, like a really short one or something.
Yes! That was how they did it, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It
okay.
was really
Nice.
cool. Mhm, mhm. It's really neat. There's so much you can do with records. There's this Grimey's in Nashville. I went in there
Hmm.
and just, like, went spent, like, paycheck in there when I was, like, 15 or 6, and, they used to make these books that I forget what company did this, like, what label did this, but and they would print it on this, clear plastic, and, it was a book. You could open it up, take the record out, put it on, play it, and then put it back in the book like it was a page, which was really cool. There's so much you can do.
Oh, so it was like a plastic page of a book?
Mhm, the entire book was plastic, and, like, people would do art, they'd commission artists, they'd have the musicians create visuals, put it into a thing, you'd go through it and, like, there'd be, like, colored too, not just clear, but, like, this red, like, I wanna say not acetate, just, this red kinda thick plastic that had the etchings in it for the
Right, right,
record,
right.
and you just take it out of the book and you put it on your record player, and you're like, "Oh, this is so sick." I wonder if they
No
still do that.
way. That's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
awesome. I've never
like
heard
a
that before.
wild collection. Yeah.
Damn, we gotta get together sometime and play some records.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
I've been kind of
So cool.
getting into tapes too.
Oh, yes. They
Again.
also had tape. There was a little thing in Brooklyn that, like, local punk musicians and stuff would do where, like, you'd go around, there was, like, a weekend where everybody would, like, burn their tapes, and then they'd only release stuff on the tapes for a while, and they'd put custom art into it, and, like, you could trade. It was real nerdy.
Nice, but that's
Yeah.
that that's cool to have for the fan who wants to go to that
It's like an
extent.
artifact.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Like, not even big bands, just, like, you know, just, like, local, little
Mm,
people in
yeah, yeah.
hoodies just being like, "I'm doing this 'cause it's fun."
Yeah, we were kinda talking about that on the last episode with Rylan, that back when, like, right as I got out of high school, there was a lot of bands, especially punk bands and,
Yeah,
like, hardcore bands and stuff started doing tapes and stuff, so it's definitely out
it's
there.
awesome. It's out
Anyways,
there. Yeah. Oh,
let's see, I'll pull up another piece of yours.
sick.
Let's see.
Yeah, I
Okay,
remember I bought an old off eBay, like, an old tape recorder so that I could try to do it myself. Still have a
nice,
bunch sitting around somewhere.
nice. Yeah, I have yet to do this so far, but my vinyl player, it also plays tape. But the cool thing about it too
Yeah!
is you can record vinyl to tape,
Yes! Yes! That's awesome. That used to be the only way you could
make a mixtape,
burn someone a CD, but it's not a
right?
CD, it's tape. Make a mixtape.
So one day I'll start making some mixtapes.
Hell yeah. That would
Anyways,
be awesome.
yeah, it would be cool, huh?
That'd be
Let's
the
see.
way, like, people don't do that for people anymore. That'd be the way into my heart. Be like, "What? It's a lot of work."
For sure.
Like, that's the cool thing to.
I think it'd be a really cool thing to do for, maybe our audience and make a custom mixtape for someone and then throw in
Yes.
one of our songs in the mixtape.
Be awesome. And you could like, make your own little, like, album art for the tape, like, tape package, you know?
Right,
Just put it
right.
in there. So cool.
That would be
So
cool.
cool.
Okay, so I got another piece of
Awesome.
yours here. Let's see. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I did that one during
So
COVID.
yeah, I remember when you first started this one, and it's really cool to see the progression because you've started to do this thing where like you do the hand drawing. I'm
Mhm.
assuming you did this with ink at first, right?
Yes, I did it with ink. Mhm.
But then
Yeah, I
that.
do,
Oh, I was just gonna say
wait, go
that.
ahead, sorry.
Oh, just I really like the touch of doing something monochromatic. There's just one color that you put in afterwards. Is that what you were gonna say, kind of, or
Yeah, yeah. My friend Zach, I struggled even when I did my thesis, even when I graduated undergrad. Um, like I had this body of work that I was really proud of, but I still really struggled with color because it's really hard to work color into something super detailed, like detailed with drawings with line work. Um,
right?
and my friend Zach, Zach Meyer, he's a really successful illustrator now.
Hmm.
He was like, keep it simple, just choose like one color or like two colors. And
Right.
it took a couple years of like really, it's tough to work color with really detailed ink work. But no, I credit Zach for that.
Yeah, I mean, especially because you don't want to mess up the ink. But
Yeah,
did you?
I added the color to this digitally. So I did
That's
the
what I thought.
drawing,
That's what I thought.
scanned it, yeah, and then overlaid it in the drawing over just color in Photoshop.
Nice. Yeah, it works out really nicely, and
Yeah,
it
thank
just
you.
adds so much. It adds so much pop to it, especially her skin here, and then the toilet paper.
Mhm.
COVID days,
COVID days.
early
God,
COVID, early pandemic days when the grocery store
that's
was.
so funny.
It was wild. I remember like I was
That was wild.
working my day job on the pedicab on the bike taxi when
Mhm.
like it first happened, and like everyone was like,
Oh,
well, it wasn't to the point where like everyone was freaking out yet, and
yeah.
and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the grocery store like on my pedicab and just load up the pedicab with food and stuff, and it was just packed. It was insane, and there's literally like lines going like through the aisles, like zigzag through the aisles to get to the register.
Yeah, that was shit. That was so shit. I don't think people freaked out honestly until they shut down the schools. That was when, like, literally that day, it was like all hell broke loose. Couldn't find anything anywhere. It was when they closed down like Jeffco schools.
Right, right.
I'm like, oh, if we can't take our kids to school, then yeah, God.
So
I just remember people. Oh God, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say people were like, I could just cut my paper towels in half and use half of the paper towel roll like toilet paper. It's like, have you ever flushed toilet paper or paper towels down the toilet? You ruin your plumbing. It's a very expensive mistake, and no plumber's gonna come to your house because it's COVID.
Right. That's a good point. I mean, what did people do
Anyway,
before toilet paper? It makes me,
they use
like I
leaves, and that's how you get poison ivy on your crotch.
yeah, yeah.
You know, ball ticks, which is a technical term for getting a tick on your balls because you shit in the woods.
Well, I think some people they just, left hand, wipe it up.
Oh, 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 I
I
don't
think
like
they
that.
like they
Mhm.
did that in India for a while.
Oh, they have a thing. Well, they didn't just wipe their asses with their hands. It's just I forget which hand it is that you you eat with one hand and you use the other hand. You can't always wash your hands. This was like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
it became a cultural thing of you use one hand, you keep one hand clean so you don't give yourself like dysentery. Yeah,
right, right.
I don't think yeah. Oh
Anyways,
god.
we'll move on from this subject.
Oh yeah, from assholes.
so,
That's a good idea.
so what is there any way that music inspires your art?
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's just well, I listen to it when I draw. Um, honestly, like it's just kind of they're so intertwined. Like it's just so I've never they've been so well, yeah, intertwined that they've kind of always gone together for me. I used to draw a lot of monsters. Don't draw a lot now. I just draw naked women. Um, but
Hmm.
I used to be yeah really inspired and like try to do artwork just kind of based around what I was listening to. And I was really inspired by like really cool album artwork. Like, do you remember when Queens of the Stone Age came out with like Clockwork?
No.
Um so they came out with their album like Clockwork and they hired this artist called Boneface who loved like admired his work for ever now, and he did like a beautiful job. He even created like animations, and then when they did their live shows, they'd have like reels going with his art in the background, and it was just such an immersive experience of like how the two kind of go hand in hand. Um, it was I yeah his work is awesome. He also works a lot in pen and ink and like digital. Um, so I think I was kind of into his style as well.
Nice. What is it again? Is Clockwork by who?
Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love
I
them.
think I
I
know what
saw
you're
them at Red
talking about.
Rocks. Like, yeah, they were they're great. They're great.
Let's see.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I'm gonna pull up an image here because yeah.
I would get like a yeah frame of reference. He signed like a multi-album contract with them. Um, probably made bank. It was so cool because when I was this was before I graduated high school. I was still in high school at the time, and I was like, God, how do you get a gig like that? Like, how do you? So I just remembered like researching like how did he get where he is, and he I guess did like an interview with somebody, and he was talking about how he was just like, oh, we're friends. Like I just you he was in there doing drawings in the studio while they were recording and like hanging out. And I was like, oh, you literally just talk to people. You just you just talk to people. You just have to go up and be like, hi, here's my work. I like your work. Um, that's how you get a gig like that. So it was so cool. It's like
Right.
kind of cracked it open for me. You just have to talk.
Yeah, it's always easier than you think, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Which I don't get modern days with social media and stuff. I'm honestly not the best at social media. Could get better. Area of improvement. Because that's kind of how everything works now. And I miss talking to people. Nobody gives
Yeah.
out business cards anymore. That was
No.
a thing. As far
Yep.
as I know, that's still a thing.
I mean, there definitely are people um,
I'm one of those.
giving
It's
out
weird.
business cards, but I don't know.
Don't be too
It's tough.
weirded out.
It's weird because for the pedicab, I used to have cards, and
Mhm.
I just really feel like they were hardly ever used, Like I hardly
Really?
ever got calls from them, It's and now it's just like I'll just give out my number to someone if they want to ride later that night or something. You know what I mean?
Mhm. That makes sense. Huh. I
Yeah, I
there
think
are
so.
a couple new taxi cabs that do that.
Nice.
Like, be like, "Hey, like, I'm Eugene, this is my card," and it'll say on it, "NYC cab driver, teller of stories." Like, business
Teller of
cards, that's how you
stories.
do it. Teller of stories. I still have that guy's card.
Nice. Yeah, there has to be. I mean, always there has to be some memorable situation. But let's see. Here we go. Here we go.
I apologize about my lighting. My, generator thing is a little on the fritz, and my lights are going, like, dim, and then they go back up again.
It's all good.
Yeah, there you go. Bone face. Yes.
What is it? You said Boneface? Yeah.
Yes,
Nice.
Boneface, that's his name. Like,
No doubt. Yeah, and I see it how it does really, it's similar to your work in some ways, especially with more of the monochromatic one or two colors there.
Mhm.
It really just it does make
Yep.
things pop so much.
Yeah, that monochromatic thing is it's kinda the only way to successfully color, like, detailed ink work.
Right. Right.
Um, Otherwise it's too busy.
Yeah,
Which,
that makes sense.
rules are meant to be broken. I could be wrong, but from personal experience, that's what I've seen.
Yeah, yeah. I think any more than three colors would
Yeah.
be would be too much for sure.
Mhm. And keeping it flat, like, that's why digital color kinda translates so well. Keeping the color flat, it really just provides, like, a backdrop where your eye can rest and focus on the detailed line work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want to have like different shades of the same color. It will
Yeah.
just
Too much
it's just
texture, it'll
yeah,
distract.
definitely. I was working on a piece recently and um I was asking for their friends' input on it, and I think I had like three colors. I haven't like released this piece yet, but I had like three different colors, and then I was like, kind of felt like, yeah, maybe I could do more with it. I don't know. And then someone was telling me they're like, oh, you need to do a bunch of more colors. And I think people who haven't spent time like studying the psychology of artwork, you know,
Yeah,
which something
color
that
theory.
obviously yeah, something that obviously you've worked on. It's like no, like you're just gonna take away from the focal point if you're like adding these different layers of color and stuff.
Make it too muddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the only one thing that I could see you could do different with this piece in particular is like maybe like some gray stuff like in the hood, in the cape that
Mhm.
he's wrapping around her to add some more shape. But I mean, that's just my personal
Yeah.
opinion. But I think any more than that would be overkill for sure.
Yeah. At the same time, it's like you want them to focus on the logo. The, that
Oh
O
yeah.
there to
Yeah.
make sure that that's, like, the focal point, besides their faces. Yeah.
What is the O? Is that or is that a Q?
Oh, it's a Q. It's a Q because of Queens. Yeah,
Yeah,
Queens
that
and Stone
makes
Age.
yeah. But it
Mhm.
does just look like an
Yeah.
O. But that's cool. That's a nice touch of like, oh, it looks like a no, but no, it's actually a Q. Oh man, what was their
Mhm.
other band? What's the
Oh,
lead
there's,
singer's name?
the Joshua Homme.
Yeah, he had like Dave Grohl on
Homme.
drums
He's
for
done a
this other.
couple of things. Oh my god. He was that Paris shooting. They were the oh my god, what is the name of his side project?
Them Crooked Vultures. That's what I was thinking about.
He's
It
in
just
that
came
one
to me.
too. That's another side project. He's no man, why can't I think of it? They're really, really good. It's like wait, Eagles of Death Metal.
Oh yeah.
Eagles of Death Metal. They're really good. Also, really cool name. Also, they're not death metal, so I always thought that was funny.
Yeah, definitely. It's yeah, yeah. I never got into the Eagles of Death Metal. I gotta check it out more. But them Crooked Vultures, I thought was amazing. They only
Mhm.
made one album, and it was just super
Really?
solid.
It's really good.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
honestly I
man.
liked it more than Queens of Stone Age, personally.
Huh.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. There you go.
yeah.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah. So how did did you always kind of stick to rock and roll when you listen to
Yeah.
music? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, recently I've been into recently I've gotten a bit into rap.
Oh yeah.
But
Hmm.
which is kind of left field, but I don't like the auto-tune stuff. That actually drives me nuts. Like everybody like loves Drake. And I'm like, yeah, he's talented, but it's all auto-tune and I can't stand it. Like poke my ears out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but the rock and roll scene in Boulder when I was like figuring it out, like who I was, whatever, like was so awesome. And like I met so many wicked cool people. Like I worked a couple shows for Westwater Outlaws who aren't together
Hmm.
anymore. Um but like they were like seriously good rock and roll. Like did that was like modern and new and they were they even got one of their songs into just like a TV ad. I forget what for. Um, and I was like, "Oh my god, these guys are so nice." They were always super nice to me. I went and saw their show at the Fox Theater on New Year's a- ages ago. Ages ago now. And they were always just super the thing was is that they like all of these musicians in Boulder, they were super talented and they were so cool and like kind people. And like respectful which was really which was really neat, and that goes back into, like, Boulder, like, even, like, years and decades ago, like, Rose Hill Drive, another really big bit
Hmm.
came from Boulder, like, they went to see you.
Nice. What were
Like,
they
a
called
lot of
again?
really cool Rose Hill Drive, they do, like,
Rose Hill Drive.
Americana.
Nice.
Mhm. Which there's Rose Hill Drive in Boulder, they lived on Rose Hill, which is where the name came from. It's funny too, because some of the people who've lived here, they're like, "Oh, yeah, I know those guys." Yeah, they would shut up. Or like, "Yeah, I know." Like the older people, like people maybe in their 50s, 60s now, they're like, "Oh, yeah, I knew those guys."
Yeah, I just
Which is funny.
looked them up on Spotify, and this still seems like they have a really big following.
Yeah, they're great. This just the rock scene was so because it wasn't the main thing people were really focused on.
Yeah.
It was so accessible. Like, you could just you could just, like I mean, I was this dorky kid, with dyed black hair, like, I'm like, "I'm gonna
Right.
be a sound engineer." People were so nice. They were so nice to me. They could have been so horrible, and I expected them to be, but I don't know. Everybody was so cool, and I was like, "Oh, this is who I wanna be."
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That goes a long ways, and obviously, that's your first impression of them, and then, like you said, you were like, "Hell yeah," these.
Oh, it sticks with you too. It's been like 10 years and I'm still like, "Oh yeah, they're super cool," even though I haven't talked. Like
Right,
yeah,
right, but you
yeah.
always remember it because of that. And I'm
Yeah,
sure, like,
exactly.
the, the adverse is the same too of if someone was, like, a huge asshole to you, you're gonna remember that, but not in a good way.
You'll never forget.
You're like, oh, I fucking hate that band. They were assholes. But I
I do
love their music.
remember their
No.
yeah, love their music, but God, they're dicks. There was I the work uniform was black t-shirt, jeans. I was like 15 or 16, and I was working the monitor board up by the stage at this one show at the Louisville Street Festival. And
Right, right.
and the guys was like, my boss came up and was like, "We're moving you back. We're moving you back to the like to the one of the boards over there." And I was like, "Why?" Like he wanted me to do lights or something. And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Oh, well, one of the guys in the band, somebody was you're distracting them." And I was like,
What?
"How? What am I doing to distract them?" They're like, he was like, "You're distracting them." I'm like, "I'm a 15-year-old girl, suck my dick." Like, I'm wearing jeans. Like, so yeah, that's another
Right,
thing. You never forget it. Like, if something
for
goes
sure.
poorly, it just makes you that mad. Yeah.
Do you ever listen to the Rouge?
The Rouge, no. I don't
They
know
were
them.
l- they're like an older Denver
Writing it
band.
down.
I don't think they're really around
Oh
anymore,
yeah.
but you should check them out. They were just straight rock and roll, and they're killing it. Probably like around 2009, 2010,
Hell
11.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Fuck yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, I feel like you'd like them. So
Probably. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna see. I
That's
wonder
so
if they
cool.
even
I'll check them
have
out.
put out anything new. Oh man, I don't. They haven't put anything new out forever. I don't think even all their songs are on Spotify. That's a bummer.
Mm. It's
Anyways,
sad when you just grow up. Well, grow up.
right, right. There were so many
Like,
good.
wait, you know,
Yeah, there were
they're
so
so
many good
good.
Denver bands back in the day, or in Boulder and everything. I mean, Boulder's still technically Denver County, but
I used to
and
love
then
the
but
Bluebird. I'd go to the Bluebird all the time.
yeah, the music scene just wasn't as strong back then in Denver. It's like there was maybe like a couple bands that made it out to be, successful, and there
The
was
scene
tons
was
of
kind
great
of
bands.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like I went up, I would go up to shows with some friends, but like Rhino didn't exist. It was 5 points. And like that's where a lot of the venues were. And you can't
yeah,
hang out because it's not safe. Especially if you're
yeah,
like 15-year-old girl just walking around, like not a good idea. Um Now it's fine because it's Rhino, but uh
right.
whereas in Boulder, you walk around the hill and no one gives a shit. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different now. I remember Cervantes, right?
Yeah, I love Cervantes. That might be the one I've been to the most out of maybe all of the venues in Denver. Cervantes.
Yeah, it wasn't even that long ago. I think it was like, well, I guess it's a while, but like 10 years ago, it was like
Yeah.
just before that
That
area
was in a
you start.
shit area at the time.
Oh yeah, it was not like somewhere you wanted to hang out a bunch, especially as a kid or
No.
something. But
My
we
mom would
did this.
kill me when I got home.
I bet she was pissed. My old band played a battle of the bands there, and there was these kids. They had to have been like 12, swear to God, and they were performing the battle of the bands, but they were like kind of doing this rap, kind of like ICP thing, and then like sometime during the show, one of those kids, he's like 12, he like tried to stab someone outside the venue.
Rock and roll! Oh
I
my
know, it's just
god.
like that would never happen at Cervantes anymore. Not that that's a great thing to happen,
That's so
but
funny. But now it's all microbreweries. That is
yeah,
so funny. Oh my god.
yeah, and it was funny
Yeah.
because like the
Someone
cops
yeah.
came and he's 12, so they're like, someone called this kid's father and get him the fuck out of here.
Oh my god.
But anyways, let
So
me.
funny.
I'm gonna pull up another piece of yours.
Like 10 years ago, they weren't that great at, like, places like that, they weren't that like, I didn't go to drink, I went for the music, but, like, the music I wanted to go see was usually at, like, 21 and up show when I was
Right.
underage. So, like, I was into places like that because, like, as long as you weren't getting wasted or I don't even think I was drinking. I was just like, "I just wanna see the music." They were pretty chill.
Right. Hold on one second.
God.
Oh, sup, Cheryl? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I got a good light up color here. Um, this is weird because it doesn't really show the Instagram people who are on the Instagram, so I've been forgetting to look at it. Anyways, let me grab
On your
another.
Instagram?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
like a
on your
separate tab.
well, it's the Q, the Drum Boy Q?
No, it's for Subatomic Hero. Anyways,
Ah. Anyways.
anyways, here's another piece of yours, and yeah, it's cool to kind of to see how so far each three of these pieces, like, it's a similar approach, similar style, but also they're all so different in a way too. This one kind of it
You
looks more watercolor, just kind of has that feel.
Yeah, I did the drawing on, fancy fucking paper that I found. Um, yeah, I like drawing naked women, I don't know what it is, it's just very pretty. Well, these are
Elegant.
clothed women, obviously, but you get the idea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is that a
Okay.
trash can on her head?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
That's a good touch.
Thank you,
And
thank you.
yeah, like the subtle, like, headstand thing that she's doing, like, you just don't notice it at a first glance, but yeah, that's cool to
It's
have
like
in the
goals that I
background.
wanna be able to do. I can't do a
What in
handstand or a
what ins
headstand, I can't do it.
headstand? You can't do a headstand?
Yeah. No,
Alright,
see,
well
I've always wanted to, always, and I cannot do it still.
alright, we'll get together one day, and then I'll teach you because I can do one.
You can do one? God,
Oh, yeah,
I've
yeah.
been trying for years and I cannot do it. I don't know.
What
How
inspires the
does
trash
your
can
head
head?
Oh, do you know what inspired it? Well, I drew her face and then I was like, I wasn't really digging her hair. And I was thinking of those like English hats, you know? So like wedding hats. Like you go to an English or a garden party or a wedding and you wear a hat. You wear a nice hat. And that's not a thing here for some reason because they're amazing. So that's what it was. It's a fancy garden party hat, but it's trash can.
Where were these
It's like an
garden parties
American
you
version
said? In
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 England.
Britain? England.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I always think about that, like, I forget, I mean, I've seen a couple movies with, like, garden parties, and they just have these big old ridiculous hats,
Yes, they're
and it
amazing.
didn't last.
Well, they still do it. They still wear them, just not out here in
Ah, we
America.
should bring it here. We should
I
have fancy
totally do.
garden party hat
I
parties.
would if
And I'll wear
if
a
you had a
trash can
wedding
on
and I
my
get your
head.
permission, oh, cool. If I have your permission at a wedding, um, to wear a
Right.
to wear a hat, like I will, but I don't want to show up and then be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
You show up and
Yeah.
you're the only one with a garden hat.
Totally fine with that, just as long as
It
I don't like offend
Now that would
anybody.
be distracting. That would be
Exactly.
distracting.
So I'd be like, "Hey, bride, are you cool if I wear?"
You imagine you're the one person there. Everyone just keeps looking back at you, just scowling you.
You're blocking the view.
So yeah, at my wedding, we'll all wear trash cans on our heads.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent. That's a good idea. Clean ones or
No,
used ones?
um, it'll be randomized.
Oh, randomized. Is it assigned randomized? Like, are you gonna be like, you have to wear a dirty one, you have to wear a clean one, or yeah, you could really get into it.
You could. I'm thinking just random, like you pick from a hat. Oh, you got the dirty
Oh, you pick from
bucket
the
hat.
bin? Get it? Boom.
Oh yeah,
Sorry, I'm an idiot.
bin to
Yeah,
bin.
yeah. You pick from the bin. You pick from the bin. You pick your bin from the bin.
Yeah,
That's why I'm not in charge of stuff like that.
yeah. So or the men will wear top hats, like really outrageously
like
tall top
like
hats.
Abe Lincoln ones. Yeah,
Yeah, and then all the women will wear garden hats.
excellent, excellent. Garden hats are amazing, and match them to your outfit or your shoes. More appropriately, match them to your shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's sad people don't wear those here. Norbert, just jump up on the couch. Stop it. Come on. Sorry.
So anyways, let's take a quick break just to breathe for a second.
Sound like my therapist.
All right, we're back. We're back. So here's another piece of yours,
Yeah.
and nice, nice.
You could
I
also
like
tell that I love architecture in some of my work because I love drawing architecture.
hell yeah. So you still kept that passion for architecture alive.
Yeah, it will never die.
So the more I'm looking at this, the more I see. Nice. So you got like the tricolor thing going on here.
Yes, I try to stick to the simple, like the old cartoonists palette of well, it's like obviously like red, cyan, and yellow.
Right.
Yeah. But like just a little altered, like a little more on the pink side, a little more on the turquoise side. Because it goes really well with ink work, which
Yeah.
is yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Sorry, I
just
don't know.
adding so much texture to it, and
Yeah.
especially with the line work on the floor, you know.
Thank
And
you.
that's just like it's a good technique too. I feel like when you're I was always taught that way, you know. Sometimes you want to do less
Mhm.
with
Like less is more. Yeah.
yeah, with line work too, especially because like not only is it going to take more time, but it just has less of a creative touch to it. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
if it was just lines across right here all the way, every line, the whole floor, I just don't think it would have that texture to it. It wouldn't be as interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, it's good to give the eye a place to rest, especially if it's busy in other areas.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Got the little grand piano.
Yeah.
Is this where was this?
Oh, it was based off of so I was born in Florida, born in Sarasota, where I lived for a while. And in Sarasota there is a museum called the Ringling Art Museum, and they have
Hmm,
all of these gorgeous, like really ornate, beautiful rooms. So it was based off of those. Piano room.
nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, why'd you stop playing guitar, Annabelle?
Why'd you stop playing guitar? I get stage fright. I get stage fright now. I don't like it. Then I get in my head, and then it's like, yeah. And now,
Yeah.
honestly, now it's just been so long that I'm like, I probably suck, which is exactly the same thing I said a year ago. Like,
Well,
yeah.
that's just that's the defeatist attitude.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I suck.
Oh shit. Wait. You froze on me. Come back. I genuinely hope that's not my Wi-Fi doing this. Wait. Can you still hear? Oh,
Oh,
hi.
there you
Was
are.
that you or me?
I don't know. Something
I don't know.
happened,
God, I hope
but
that
it's
wasn't my
good now.
Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi sucks. Cool. Yeah. Sweet.
So, yeah,
I forgot what we
we
were saying
gotta
because I got distracted.
oh, we gotta get you back on the guitar one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to,
Ah,
Annabelle.
I still have everything. Yeah. Still have
I guess it
everything. So
won't
much.
force you to.
I still play, but by myself.
Right.
Just like as a way to
Nice.
like relax. Yeah,
Nice. Nice.
like chill. Yeah, I get that like perfectionism brain where I'm like, if it's not perfect, then it sucks, and it's why.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that way sometimes too. I've been working on guitar, and I've had a guitar laying around for a long time, but I kind of just learned a few cowboy chords, and would just fuck around with those. But recently, in the
Nice.
in the last 6 7 months, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna really take the time to really learn the instrument, and expand my knowledge. And I've gotten to a
Hell
point
yeah.
where I can sing and play a couple songs on guitar, but my buddy keeps pushing me to do this open mic on guitar, and it's just like, no, I'm just like, I'm just like this close to being ready to do that more. But it's just like that little bit of, oh, I just need to be a little bit perfection, more perfection there,
Yeah.
you know?
More perfection. I was trained classically, classical guitar, and
Nice.
if well, especially if you're doing auditions and stuff, if it's not perfect, then you just might have not have done it because you suck. So yeah, that mindset's been there forever. Not that my teacher was really good. He was amazing. He wasn't like that. But you know.
Yeah, those classical teachers can be really rough. I went
He
to
was tough,
school
but he
for
was good. I like that. I like a tough teacher. It pushes me.
totally, totally. Yeah, when I was in school, I went to school for music, and you had to get audited every semester at the end of every semester.
Yeah.
Make sure you're up to standard. And it's so nerve wracking
Yep.
because it's like all the professors in the music performance. I mean, yeah, in the music program are there, and you're in an auditorium, and then it's just you by yourself, typically. So I mean, sometimes you'd
Mhm.
be accompanied by someone, you know what I mean? But
Just you in the middle of the stage all by
uh-huh,
yourself.
in front of all these other amazing artists who've been doing it for years.
People are judging you so hard. Yeah.
But there was one I remember. There's some really tough teachers, but I remember I never had him because I didn't do classical guitar, but there was one classical guitar teacher that like everyone just dreaded seeing every time. Because like he's just gonna kick my ass.
My favorite professors were always the ones who made me cry at some point, which is really like masochistic, but like I like being pushed, you know? If I was like, "Oh, I'd be like, "I let you down. I didn't do good enough." Ah. Then it made me work harder and it made me do better.
Totally,
That's just
totally.
who I am as a person though. Yeah.
It pushes you. Yeah, I had some professors like
Yeah.
that. Our percussion instructor was he had a military background. He came from the Marines, I think, and
Nice.
he would straight up just cuss you out in the middle of class, like like
He never threw a cymbal at your head? What is that
he
Miles
met
Teller movie?
Whiplash, and I saw that
Whiplash!
actually.
It's a
I
great
saw
film.
Whiplash a couple times, and it was very similar in a lot of ways. He never threw anything at you, but I remember
Yeah,
I did pep band in college, and it was cool because you could get paid. You got paid to do a pep band in college, and
that's so sick.
it was the first day, and I was on drum set, and I haven't even seen the music, and the manuscript, the notation for the music isn't even for drum set, you know. And I'm
Uh-huh.
looking at it like, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing with this, And I haven't heard the music literally the first day. So we start playing the songs, and I'm like way off time. And he just stops the whole class like, Quinn, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm sorry, Dad. Oh.
Yeah. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, because like I've already known this guy for like a year at this point, and he was totally chill. But like all of a sudden, my second year, he was just like flipped. This switch flipped. But I definitely
Oh
got way better
no.
because of that.
Yes, see? It's good. The if yeah, I know people who
Hmm.
shut down when
Right.
when they have a tough and then they don't do anything because they've shut down. But like for I guess for people like us, I'm like, no, I will do better. Yeah.
Right. Submit to the pain
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, no.
and turn it
I can do
into
I can do better.
inspirational gold. There we go.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still in touch with some of my like favorite professors. Like that it's still that you know, it's good. It's good.
Nice.
Still help me on like projects and stuff. Yeah.
So here's another piece.
Yeah. That one.
So this one, and it's really cool because if you follow Annabelle on Instagram or something, she usually posts like the black and white version first, and cool to just when the color is added, just how much life it adds to this one.
Thank you.
And so what happened? Is that you on the ground there?
Yes. Did you yeah, it was a quarantine hobby. So it's also
Yeah,
one
you
of my
started.
favorite things in the entire world.
Yeah, yeah, you're pretty
Yeah.
good at it too. The roller skating.
Thank you. Thank you. You
Yeah.
feel like you're flying. It's the best feeling. It's the best feeling. Yeah.
Were you
This one did well. Hmm?
Yeah, yeah. I remember a lot of people like this one when you finished it. And were you roller skating before the pandemic, or was that something you were like, I'm gonna pick this up now and start doing it?
Well, so my mom was a professional ice skater, figure skater. So I was always
Ah,
at the rink with her. And it was either sit there and be fucking freezing, um, for hours or, like, skate. So I did that, but I'd never actually roller skated. I bought roller skates, like, a couple of years before COVID, and then COVID hit, and, all the time that I would have gone out spending hanging out with friends, I was just like, "I'm gonna go skate around." Just went around the neighborhood, and, it did wonders for just your does wonders for your physical and mental health.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
we went we went skating one day
The mountains.
and
Oh, Quinn.
I grew up skateboarding. Mind you, I'm not
Yeah.
the best, but
It's
it had
okay.
been
I'm not
it
that
had
great
been
at
a
skateboarding.
couple years, and I made Annabelle at this skate park, and within
And
the
I feel
five.
so bad that I still laugh about it because it's not funny.
Why are you laughing, dude?
It's
No,
not funny.
admit it. You don't care. You don't care. You think it's funny. Anyways,
Yeah, I just
anyways. In the first 5 minutes, I hop on the skateboard. I'm like
in the
warming up.
parking lot.
Haven't even warmed up. Broke my foot in the first minute. It wasn't even do anything crazy. I just
It was so
tried to
sad.
do like an ollie and then just landed wrong on my foot, and then it just.
That was so
And then
sad.
not only that, but like a couple months prior or something, I was working this apartment maintenance job, and I got this spray paint remover like goo stuff on my hand, and it like burned through my knuckle. And then I also fell on my ring finger in my right hand, and then it's a little better now. I can actually like kind of close
Oh,
it all the way, but
the parking lot fucked you up.
it wasn't the parking lot. I mean, I was in the actual park, but
Where was that? Was that Georgetown? I think that
no, I
was
think it was Frisco,
Frisco. I don't remember.
right? Up, yeah, up in the mountains.
Yeah, somewhere over the mountain. Yeah.
But anyways, but you got a couple injuries too. You like really fucked up your
Yeah.
shoulder, didn't you? Who's laughing now, Annabelle?
I just get cocky. I have impulse control issues. So sometimes you're like, that looks like fun, and then like a golden retriever. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean that's just part
I'm
of the
working on that.
sport too, right? You break
That's
shit.
true. Like, yeah, if you look at any athlete or anybody who just does sport, like a daily sport activity, everybody gets hurt at some point. It just comes with territory.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Like my whole family, everybody's well, except for my brother, but most everybody in my family was or like is a professional like athlete, and they're just it just you're gonna get hurt at some point, whatever you're doing, if you do it every day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. I've definitely broken other bones skateboarding in the past, but doing way more risky things than that day.
Yeah. 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 This piece did pretty well because I think people related to it because during quarantine, like roller skating was like it had like a boom because everybody was like, I don't know what to do with my time, and this was one of those things that were well, like I did, where I was like, I'm just gonna put all of my time into this, and so they put this one's been published a couple times, and one of them was in the Society of Illustrators, so that was cool. I was
Nice,
pretty proud of that.
nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Society of Illustrators is awesome.
So
I was
you
very
sold some.
grateful and honored.
Fuck yeah. So you sold a few copies, I'm sure, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I do sell prints. I have a print links on my Instagram. I do sell prints, so if anybody wants prints.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
worth
it's
it.
good.
I need to buy some prints too.
Yeah.
I don't think I have one of yours.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Thank you. That's so
I will.
nice.
Let's see.
Thank you.
All right. We got a couple more here. We'll go through them quickly, but
Oh yeah, you don't have to talk about all of them either. I just sent you like random whatever's. Yeah.
no, no. Some of these I haven't seen. Like I haven't seen this one.
Oh really? This one's
Is
newer. I did this one
this,
really quick, actually. Yeah.
did you do the color digitally on this one?
I did part of it digitally and part of it on paper. So, like, I did a little bit. I'm really into, like, screen tones brushes in Photoshop, um, which is, like, how they used to illustrate the old comics and stuff. So I put a little
Hmm.
bit that's, like, the white it's, like, the dots. I love how that looks underneath ink work. It's
Oh,
like a
I see
tried and
what you.
true method that, like
Yeah, yeah. I know you're
Yeah,
talking about with like old comics. You can see like they
old
like
comics. Mhm.
colored it with, yeah, with dots,
The screen tones. Mhm. Which is
screen
so cool.
tones.
I was like it took me so long to figure that out. It's like, "Oh, this has been a method that's been around forever."
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool. And so you added that with Photoshop, you said?
yeah, the old Photoshop.
Nice, nice screen tones. I gotta look more into that. I remember my old band. We wanted to do like an album cover with that screen tone kind of thing on it, you know.
Oh,
But
hell yeah.
some of the screen tones, like the dots are like way bigger, you know. But I
Oh,
think
that's the tricky bit. They have to be a uniform size, um,
right,
to
huh,
give that kind of visual illusion. Yeah.
right. But you kind of overlaid them on top, or you just put it on top of whatever this
Honestly,
other
I
color
scanned
is.
it in and I scanned it in and I just went and then I was like, "Okay, cool, that's good, that's done."
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Where was this? Where did you draw
Oh,
this at, or where? Yeah.
I was kind of inspired what was that from? I like, people I love those old it was that movie with Keira Knightley, I think. I don't know, some old movie
Huh.
about, like,
Okay.
Victorian, or, like, it was Baroque, which is completely different, but it's fine. Yeah, I love the gowns, it looks like so much fun. I've never worn a gown like that, but, one day, maybe I can. Looks like fun.
You will. You will. I
Yeah, yeah.
Oh shoot. Did you can you see him anymore? I think it's done.
No. You are a webcam utility,
Yeah.
or at least that's what it says you are. And now he is gone. Come back, Quinn. I don't know. Where'd he go, Bert? It's done. Am I still going?
Oh, there
Oh,
you
you're
go.
back.
I'm back. Okay.
Was I still going there?
So yeah, obviously the Victorian age kind of stuff. I mean, you got, yeah, seems to inspire you.
I love it. It's
Or
so cool. It would have been like a horrible time to live, but like if you're looking back on it, it's very visually appealing.
nice. I feel like
Yeah.
you would have fit in back in the day, in that time.
I I'm pale enough. They would have been like, "Oh, wow, how do you do that?" And I was like, "I just don't go outside, and I'm Irish. I don't know." Yes, I would have fit in back then in that way. Yeah. Who needs lead-based white powder makeup when your skin just looks like that? Oh, no. Quinn, now where did you go again? Now the entire screen is just my face. Where did he go? Am I still streaming? Oh, hi! Wait, no. That's my piece. That's my art. That's not Quinn. Technical difficulties. What's up, Bert? So this is a piece that I drew about sexuality. Once Quinn comes back, if I'm still streaming, I'll tell you about it. If I'm still on the internet right
Hello, hello. Can
now.
you
Oh,
hear me?
hi!
You can
Yeah.
hear me. You just
Keep
can't see me.
disappearing. Yeah, I can hear you. I can't see you.
All right. Um, cool. So, what's this about? What are these people doing?
They're having sex. Well, they're about to technically.
Right on,
I don't know.
right
It
on.
was a piece that I did. I was really like thinking a lot about my own sexuality at the time when I drew it, and
Okay,
like I grew up in a really Catholic family, and I mean they were pretty as far as Catholics go, pretty liberal and open as far as gay, being gay and
sure,
homosexuality, whatever. Actually, very
sure.
accepting. But it was still like they can do it, it's fine, but you can't do it. um, and so I kind of like so I made this piece, and it was kind of just like coming into terms with like being bisexual, kind of what that means as a human, like as an adult, like kind of really thinking about it. Yeah,
Right.
so
This is a
that was kind of
recent discovery of yours?
yes, well, it's kinda like it's always been there, but I just didn't really acknowledge it, or
Right,
really
right.
acknowledge it for what it was.
You might have subconsciously suppressed it because of your upbringing, is kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, or well, it's like sometimes it was definitely in my consciousness, like, I definitely I acted
Right.
on it.
You. Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
but,
yeah.
like, I don't know, I work through a lot of things in my art, like, if I'm really upset or if I'm, like, just I work that's how I work through trauma, it's how I work just kinda what I'm thinking about, what's going on in my head. I do that, like, through visual, like, through my pieces. So, yeah, that's what that piece kinda represented.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Are you gonna color this one or just leave it as is?
I don't know, I tried coloring it and I didn't like it. So, I've just left it since then. Yeah.
What if you did like the reverse of what you've been doing, where you kind of, what if you just colored their bodies? Like one was one
Yeah, yeah,
color, one was one color, and the other was another, or something.
that would be cool. Yeah. I'll definitely see if I can play around with it some more. Um, because the color does add an aspect to it, which is cool
Totally,
sometimes.
totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I
awesome.
don't like
I'm
I don't like spending too long on something either sometimes. Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes you just gotta stop and just say it's done.
Mhm.
You know, um,
Yeah.
there's always more time that you could try to spend on something.
Mhm.
And sometimes you can severely fuck it up by spending more time on it.
Yeah, overworking something is real, and, yeah, it's a problem. Like, as an artist, visually or, musically or anything, overworking it, you do not want to do.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, um, so did this
Mhm.
offer you a lot of relief drawing this?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it did.
you felt more comforted.
Mhm.
That's good.
Mhm.
That's good.
And people were really
That's good.
receptive and kind. Like, yeah, friends to people close to me. They were I mean, it's the kind of thing that, like it's like, "Oh, no, if my friend is gay or bi or whatever, like, I love you, I accept you, I've never had a problem with that, but, like, for you?" It's like some reason there was this internal conflict of, like, they can do it, but I can't. Like, I don't know. It it was a weird kinda struggle there for a sec.
Sure. Sure. I bet,
Mhm.
and it's all about that internal struggle, I'm sure. Like coming to terms with it yourself, rather than what other people would think. I feel like these days, because most people just don't give a shit anymore. Like, cool,
Exactly. Mhm. People
it's
like
just
I was the only knowledge I had about, like, bisexuality, I didn't know what bi was for a really long time, I from what I saw in movies and stuff, I was like, you're either or you're straight. And if you're a girl and you hook up with another girl, it's because the guy is into it and it's a thing. Whereas that's completely different than like, no, I like this person because I like them as a person and I'm attracted to them, and it's not just for the benefit of a completely third party. It's for me or and them. Like, so it was kind of something that I kind of really didn't really wrap my brain around until my mid 20s. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's a totally different dynamic. Or I feel like when I was in like middle school or high school or something, girls would just sometimes make out just to like attract attention, you know? It
Yeah. Yeah.
wasn't really
Yeah.
for them,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know? But maybe for some of them it
Mhm.
was, you know, and it's just like that the seed of exploration.
Yeah. Yeah. I just I my whole knowledge was just based around movies. Like
Right.
just it depicted it. It was like, no, there's no such thing as a there's gay girls and there's gay guys. There's straight girls and there's straight guys, but if there's nothing in between, and if you're doing something in between, it's just because it's a kinky sex thing. So that was
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's cool that it's definitely evolved since then, that's for sure.
yeah,
And
yeah,
everyone can see that there's not everything's black and white.
yeah,
Even
exactly.
even even with this here drawing of yours, there's different shades of gray and
Cross
black.
hatching.
Cross
Yeah,
hatching,
that
yeah. I
is
like what you did with the
cross hatching.
shadow there. Shadows of
Thank you.
yeah. Well, right on, Annabelle. I'm really glad that we made this work out.
Yeah, thank
And
you. This is fun. This is fun.
yeah, we'll have to do it again one day. Once again, where can people find you and your work?
Oh yeah, Instagram is inkxbell, which is INKXBELLE, and my website is annabelle.tracy or no, annabelletracy.com. Sorry, annabelletracy.com. I'm also I have like Behance and a Facebook page I never update. So there's that exists. I sell prints. I'm out there.
Right on, right on. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on. Been
Thank you,
really looking
Quinn.
forward to it, and I feel like this was an awesome episode. And
Sweet. Yay.
you're our first artist on the podcast, so
Yes.
it's definitely been different. And yeah,
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you.
yes.